Hello everyone, this is my digital prototype using Twine, and so this is basically what I've developed so far, different paths that you would go through. What I had originally done was I started with the game board being the actual map of Mexico, but as I was developing this I realized just the region names and different things, especially once I have images and things embedded in. There's no reason to overly complicate it if the way I was, I think, with the shape of the world in the game. So basically, after a few different versions of this is what I've ended up with so far. That the beginning is to give overview of the objectives and the game rules, and then they start their adventure, and they can either choose at that point a longer path with more coin options or a more direct path, and either way they end up at the learning center where they have to now this I would need to flesh out a little more, but basically the idea is the same as what I've done earlier, where I have added the choice that if they answer incorrectly, they get the hint, the overview, then they answer it again, then they collect the coin before they move on to the next region. So the learning centers would work similar in that there would be a little more steps involved in each learning center, different questions, hints, review. But overall, this would be the general way that the game would play. So I'm going to go ahead and do the test or hit play on it. So as you read through, gives you an overview of the fact how I'm going to work in the different types of Spanish questions. But at this point, my objective is more to test the path. So start my adventure here. I can choose to go to the through the whole peninsula and work my way around, or I can take a quick ride over to for the shorter path. If I click the shorter path, I basically just put, they get the first question. If they answer it correctly, they collect the coins. If they answer incorrectly, they get the hint. And if they then answer correctly, they would get half the points and collect the coins. If they still answered it correctly, they get no coins, but they move on so that they're not stuck in the game. They just do not get any extra coins. So as they go through the game, they get to all the different regions. I'm just going to click through as if they were correct. So then they go to the learning center. And what I decided as I was working out the hints and how I still wanted them to progress, in the end I decided that ultimately I would make it so that the learning center coins were enough to buy passage, and that any extra coins would go for additional purchases either in the game ultimately or class prizes that they could turn in. So ultimately I was thinking, okay, if a student doesn't get any question right along the way, I still want them to eventually make it to the learning center and make that the absolute mandatory. You have to stay here until you get the question right and collect your coins and move on. So that would be the one thing where I wouldn't allow the student, I would have to build it in that they cannot get to the next thing until they go to the next. So they go through the different learning centers. So after completing the learning center questions, they would move on to the currency exchange and ticket purchase, in which they would be welcome to Guatemala, and then it would kind of basically start over the same concept, but now in Guatemala with different learning centers and different questions. Overall, this prototype gave me a lot to consider, and I definitely felt like it was a good way to help me organize my thoughts, and I really enjoyed testing it out. There were definitely some times during the week where myself or friends were testing it, and I had missed a step along the way, so it was nice to be able to easily fix it and make sure that it went smoothly from one end to the next. Hope everyone else has enjoyed creating their prototypes, and I look forward to seeing everyone's videos.